Now we understood the anther has two lobes, but there are some exceptions. So this is applied part for the NEET. If you look at a typical anther, typical anther consists two lobes, and in each lobe there are two microsporangia. So totally there are 4 microsporangia present. This is in case of typical anther. So typical anther consists two lobes. Two lobes means diathecous, biathecous, and there are 4 sporangia present. Now I call this condition as tetrasporangiate. We'll see what is microsporangia, how it looks in detail, but this is the applied part, you should remember it. So typical anther consists two lobes, that is diathecous anther, consists 4 microsporangia, that is tetrasporangiate condition. In case of China rose is hibiscus. Dasadhu. Okay. Now, if you look at the China rose, it has two lobes. So the condition remains same, that is diathecous, but there are only 2 microsporangia are present inside the anther lobe. So in one lobe, 1 microsporangia. So this condition is called as, what do we call this as? Bisporangiate condition. Now, there is a plant called Arcutobium. Now, it has only one lobe. So now it is not biathecous, it is monothecous, because one lobe. Monothecous, and it has only one lobe, one microsporangia. So this is monosporangiate. Condition. So now we understood, inside the anther microsporangia present. There may be 1 microsporangia like in Arcutobium, there may be 2 microsporangia like in China rose or hibiscus, there may be 4 microsporangia like in typical anther. So in next we'll study in detail the structure of microsporangia. We all know a typical anther consists 4 microsporangium. Typical anther consists 4 microsporangia. This condition is called as tetrasporangiate. Tetrasporangiate condition. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4. This microsporangia consists pollen sacs or pollinia. Already asked NEET level question. These pollen sac, these are the pollen sacs, consist thousands of pollen grains. consists thousands of pollen grains. Next, as we know, the anther has two lobes. Say for example, this is one lobe and this is two. These are the two lobes. What you can see? 1, 2. These two lobes. Now remember, these two lobes of the anther, they are connected from the behind, not from the front. So the two lobes here, they are connected from the behind. So the two lobes of anther connected from behind, and they are connected by, we already know, connective tissue, by connective tissue. Now this connective tissue consists vascular bundles. We all know vascular bundle means xylem and phloem. So connective tissue consists xylem and phloem, which provide nutrition and water to anther. Because xylem is water conducting tissue, phloem is food conducting tissue. So phloem is responsible for providing nutrition and xylem is responsible for providing water. Now let's understand the structure of microsporangium. This is a typical structure of microsporangium. Now, the wall of the anther is made up of 4 layers. Because this is the TS of the anther, the wall of the anther is made up of 4 layers. So, wall of anther is made up of 4 layers. Now the 4 layers are, now this one is the outermost layer. Now this is called as epidermis. Below epidermis, this layer, this one is called as endothecium. Now these 3 layers you can see, this inner layer, these are called as middle layers. And the innermost layer, this one is known as tapetum. And inside the tapetum, inside the microsporangium, meaning the same, consists sporogenous tissue. This sporogenous tissue later develops into pollen grains. We'll see how it develops into pollen grain in next coming classes. So these are the 4 layers of the anther wall. These are the 4 layers of the anther wall. We'll see one by one in detail. So first, epidermis. As you can see, it is the outermost layer. Outermost layer of anther wall. Second, it is made up of flat and thin cells. Made up of flat and thin cells. It is single layered. Of cells, and the main function of the epidermis is to provide protection to the anther. Provide protection to anther, or you say microsporangium. The second layer is called as endothecium. Now, endothecium is present below epidermis, this layer, present below epidermis. It is also made up of single layer of cells. Single layer and made up of radially elongated thick cells. So here the cells are radially elongated and thick. Now, thickening is differential. The thickening is differential or different. So here it is different, here it is different, here it is different. So the thickening goes on increasing or decreasing. That's why the thickening is differential and made up of alpha cellulose. So which chemical is responsible for the thickening? Alpha cellulose. Now, most importantly, the thickening near the stomium region, at this part, this is the stomium region. Here, thickening near the stomium region is absent. The thickening at stomium region is absent. Now, here no thickening is absent. Now, why it is absent? What is its importance? As there is no thickening in the stomium region, as a result, this helps in dehiscence of the anther. And helps to release pollen grains. Now यहाँ जो स्टोमियम ये वाला जो जगह है, ये वाला यहां पर थिकनिंग नहीं होती. अल्फा सेलुलोज का थिकनिंग एब्सेंट है. एब्सेंट होने की वजह से जब ये एंथर मैच्योर्ड हो जाएगा तो एंथर यहां से टूटेगा, लाइक दिस, यहां से टूटेगा. तो एंथर का टूटना उसे हम बोलते हैं डेहिसेंस ऑफ द एंथर. और जैसे ही एंथर टूटेगा, डेहिसेंस ऑफ द एंथर होगा, यहां अंदर कौन है? पोलन ग्रेन्स है. वो पोलन ग्रेन्स बाहर रिलीज हो जाएंगे. सो थिकनिंग ना होना एक फायदेमंद है. So here, what is the function of the endothecium? I can say endothecium helps in dehiscence of the anther and helps to release pollen grains. So function, already board exam में what is the function of the endothecium? ये पूछा गया क्वेश्चन है बोर्ड एग्जाम में, शॉर्ट आंसर. सेकेंड, ये जो अल्फा सेलुलोज, the differential thickening is differential due to alpha cellulose chemical. ये नीट लेवल क्वेश्चन है. और एक बात आपको याद रखना है, द सेल्स ऑफ द एंडोथेसियम आर रेडियली इलोंगेटेड, लेकिन एपिडर्मिस के सेल्स फ्लैट सेल्स हैं. द थर्ड लेयर is middle layer cells. Now, the middle layers, it is 2 or 3 layered, 2 or 3 layered. Second, the cells of the middle layer, the cells of middle layer are thin and living. The middle layer cells are rich in middle layer cells are rich in reserve food. And provide nutrition to developing pollen grains. Provide nutrition to developing pollen grains. Now, what happens during the development of the pollen grain यहाँ अंदर बन रहे हैं. What this pollen grain will do, they consume the middle layer cells. The middle layer cells or cells of the middle layer consumed, मतलब eaten up, consumed by the pollen grain at early stages. जैसे पोलन ग्रेन बनना स्टार्ट हो जाता है, वो पोलन ग्रेन किसको खा जाएंगे? मिडल लेयर सेल्स को खा जाएंगे. सो middle layer cells are short lived. Middle layer cells are short lived, मतलब वो बहुत जल्दी मर जाएंगे. या फिर short lived structures are also known as ephemeral structures. Ephemeral structures. So you remember, middle layer cells are short lived क्योंकि वो जल्दी किसी और का निवाला बन जाएंगे. कौन खाएगा उनको? पोलन ग्रेन्स खा जाएंगे. तो जो शॉर्ट लिव्ड स्ट्रक्चर्स का और एक नाम क्या है? एफीमरल स्ट्रक्चर्स. या फिर मैं ऐसे बोल सकता हूं, ये जो मिडल लेयर्स के जो सेल्स हैं, रिमेंबर मिडल लेयर सेल्स, आप यहां पर इसको ऐसे भी बोल सकते हैं, दे डीजनरेट at early stages of pollen grain development. Now, ephemeral structures, already asked question NEET. Degenerate, already asked question NEET. They are short-lived. अब और एक, epidermis made up of single layer of cells, endothelium is made up of single layer of cells, but middle layer cells are 2 to 3 layer. What is the function of the middle layer? Cells provide nutrition to developing pollen grains. The fourth layer of the anther wall is tapetum. As we can see, tapetum is the innermost layer. Which covers sporogenous tissue. This is the sporogenous tissue which is covered by tapetum, which covers sporogenous tissue. The cells are large, in size. The cells of the tapetum are very big, consist dense cytoplasm, polyploid and multinucleated. Now, this entire sentence about tapetum asked many times in the NEET examination. The cells of the tapetum are large in size, consist dense cytoplasm, very dark cytoplasm, polyploid and multinucleated, more than one nuclei is present. Functions of tapetum. Before understanding functions of tapetum, it's better to understand first the structure of microsporangium. So first we'll understand structure of microsporangium, then we'll go to the functions of tapetum. So microsporangium. Inside the microsporangium, sporogenous cells or tissue present. So inside the microsporangium, sporogenous cells or tissue is present. This sporogenous tissue converted into pollen mother cell, that is PMC, or microspore mother cell. It is MMC. This pollen mother cell or microspore mother cell then undergoes meiosis and forms 4 pollen tetrad. Means 4 pollen grains which are connected to each other. So this is a tetrad of pollen grain. Later, this tetrad gets separates and forms 4 haploid pollen grain. So, inside the microsporangium, sporogenous tissue converted into pollen mother cell, pollen mother cell undergoes meiosis and forms 4 pollen tetrad, means 4 pollen grains which are connected to each other, held with each other. Later, these pollen grains, they get separated and forms 4 pollen grains. Now, one important thing, these 4 pollen grains are connected with each other, held with each other by a chemical called callose. They are held with each other by a chemical called callose. So remember Karnataka CET level question.